Welcome to Digital Asset News. Take the top stories in cryptocurrency and digital assets and break them down into bite-sized pieces. Today, we've got some strange articles, but pretty interesting stuff. So first up, the U.S. Marshals Service is auctioning off 4,040 Bitcoins in the next 2 weeks. So if you are an auctioneer or looking to pick up some Bitcoin on the cheap, this might be for you. Also, there are two major indicators that say that the price of Bitcoin is about to go parabolic, as these two indicators print a very bullish long signal. And let's talk about China's goals behind its digital yuan, or E-Yuan, and how that all relates to XRP and what's going to be coming up. And on top of that, we'll also go over the scam of the day at the very end. So let's get into today's stories. First up, before we go on, I talk about the scam of the day every single time that we do a video. And when I first saw this, I was like, is this a scam? Because it kind of looks like a scam. Because you're talking about like, okay, well, there's Bitcoin and they're selling it for cheap and I have to register and we're going to get into all that stuff. But you're like, is this really the U.S. Marshals website? Well, first of all, it's usmarshals.gov/assets. And I'm going to link this in the description below. But for everybody out there who's trying to determine like what's a scam, what's not, is this airdrop legit, is this video legit, all you got to do is just go to the main website, not to a link somewhere in some description or something else that you may have heard of from a guy who knows a girl who thinks this is legit. You actually have to go to the actual website. Every time I have a problem and I'm thinking to myself, okay, is XRP really doing an airdrop? Is Coinbase really doing a giveaway? Or the U.S. Marshals actually doing this? I will go directly to their website first of all. And this is like, if you just Google U.S. Marshals, the first website that's going to come up is usmarshals.gov, and you can actually contact them. And what I've done in the past is I've just contacted Coinbase and go, look, are you doing this? Because there's this thing that's coming up that says you're giving away a bunch of stuff. And 10 times out of 10, it's a scam. So for this one, it actually is legit, and it's very interesting about how they're doing this. So the U.S. Marshals are they are auctioning off over 4,000 Bitcoins. And what happened was, this is a sealed bid auction for 4,040.54 blah, 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 blah Bitcoin. These Bitcoins were forfeited in various federal, criminal, civil, and administrative cases, including, and they have a list of all the different cases that went against all these different people, organizations, corporations, or whoever else it was, where they were able to confiscate these Bitcoins. And it's a pretty long laundry list of people. I'm not going to get into it. I'm just going to scroll right through it, but you get the idea. A lot of Bitcoin was collected over this time frame. So what's going to happen is they're going to have a sealed bid auction for 4,000 plus Bitcoin. And how it works is there's different series. There's A through D. And the series A is the one with the most. There's 500 Bitcoins per block. There's 5 blocks available for 2,500 total. Here's where it gets a little dicey. The required deposit is $200,000. So basically what you might consider as an accredited investor is what you have to deposit just to make an auction on a part or all of these Bitcoins. So that is a huge amount of money just to get into the game, but it is one of those things where they are going to require you to do it. However, there's a couple of ways around it. We're going to get into that. So this phase 1, bidder registration, this is for the Series A. It opens at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday, February 3rd, 2020, which is today. The deadline to register is noon Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday, February 12th, 2020. So all interested parties must first register with the United States Marshals Service. You are not eligible to submit a bid or otherwise participate in this auction unless you have submitted all required documents and have received confirmation from the United States Marshals Service that you are an eligible bidder. So what does that all mean? So here's the 4 items you have to do. You have to first manually sign a PDF copy of the bidder registration form. There's a link right there. It's going to open it up. You're going to fill it out, send it to them. A copy of a government-issued photo ID, deposit in U.S. dollars sent by EFT or electric funds transfer, originating from a bank located within the U.S. And you can still auction, or you can still be a part of this if you are outside the United States, but your bank must be within the United States. And a copy of the EFT transmittal receipt. So Those are the 4 things. And after that, you must deliver the required registration items. Just email it to USMS cryptocurrency at usdoj.gov. And off you go. So it seems to me like you might be able to pick up a heck of a lot of Bitcoin for very cheap as they auction things off. There have been people in the past who have done this, and they've said that, yeah, it's been pretty good deal for them. Most notably, Tim Draper. I think it was back in 2013, 2014. He picked up a boatload of Bitcoin on the vastly cheap side by doing something just like this. There was Bitcoins that were confiscated. He picked them up for a song, and he is loaded with Bitcoin. Of course, Tim Draper, venture capitalist, he's the one that had predicted the Bitcoin bull run in 2017. He said back in 2015 or 2014, he said that it was going to go up to at least 10,000, and everybody laughed at him, thought he was crazy. But look at that, he was right. And he actually undershot it by 50%, actually went to 20,000. So if you're one of those Tim Draper kind of persons and wants to get in here, this would be a great opportunity. A little more things to go over, and that was the FAQ, which is the very bottom. So it asks the question of how did the U.S. Marshals ever get the authority to sell these Bitcoins? Because they just confiscate them. Shouldn't they go to the family or something like that? They're like, nope. To dispose of fraud property that can be found at, and there's a legislative clause here that says you can all look it up. Great. Then it goes to, can a foreign citizen participate in the auction? Yes, however, bids will be accepted from any person or entity. And then this is the most interesting one. Can I form a syndicate of buyers to participate in the auction? And it says, yeah, you can do that. You can get all your friends together and form a syndicate, essentially. They can all come together, pool their money, bid on this, and then off you go. So if you are rich, or not rich, if you're well-to-do, and you know some people that are also well-to-do, you might be able to pull yourself together, form a syndicate, and off you go, grab some Bitcoins on the cheap. So that's it. Next story. So the Bitcoin price is about to go parabolic, as been reported by different outlets and different TA people and investors and things like that. So let's take a look at what they're actually talking about. So the king of cryptocurrencies, they're talking about Bitcoin, as it's stated here, experienced an overnight surge to a new year-to-date high of around 96.10, which was, I think, just yesterday. That was on February 2nd. Today is February 3rd. So it's around about 9,300 or something like that. But yeah, it did touch up all the way to 9,600. So great for you if you took a little bit of profits. Congratulations. Crypto trader, analyst, and co-founder of Blockroot, Josh Rager, recently noted that Blockroot's alpha trend has just printed a strong buy signal on Bitcoin's 3-day chart. Rager explained that in the past, the signal has flashed on only 2 occasions. In September 2016, before the December rally, and that's when it went to its all-time high of 20,000 almost. And in March 2019, before Bitcoin raced to 13,000. So these indicators have only flashed twice, and it's been 2 of some of the biggest, huge pumps that Bitcoin has ever seen. So that's impressive. So we'll see how this all works out. And then Josh Rager, he submits a TA form, so fantastic. Moving on, he talks about the other signal. Additionally, Bitcoin is racing towards the wildly bullish weekly golden cross. A golden cross is seen when the 50 moving average or exponential moving average crosses above the daily 200 exponential moving average. The last time this happened was in April 2019, before the 220% jump that took Bitcoin from 4Ks to over 13.8. And trader Anadron observed that, adding that Bitcoin could hit 30,000 in the coming weeks should it replicate the same gigantic move seen in April after the imminent golden cross. And he talks about how excited he is and whatever. Great. So I'm not a big believer in TA, but Blockchain Backer said it perfectly when I was watching one of his videos. Yeah, I don't have a chance, go and check him out. He's really good with fractals and overlays and TA and stuff like that I just don't really talk about. But he did say something that made a lot of sense to me. He said, look, he goes, all the different TA people see the same thing that I see. And so they're talking about this same, and this was like about a month ago, 3 weeks ago. And he said, so if we're all looking at the same thing, we're all going to take our positions at the same time. And if we all take our positions at the same time, even if we're right or wrong, we're still going to take profits. So if you're outside of that and you're looking in, you're like, I see a big move here. People are selling off. Maybe I should sell off. And then before you know it, everybody sells off. And that's where I think the magic of TA comes in. So, I mean, if you're a TA person, great, fantastic, have fun with it. I just don't get it. And maybe it's my own ignorance, I don't know. But I will tell you this, that he's right. If you've got a bunch of TA people like Anandran and these other guys up here, what was their names? Black Roots. And they're all pretty much saying the same thing. Bitcoin's going to pump. Bitcoin's going to go parabolic. Bitcoin's going to go to the moon. Bitcoin's going to happen this. Then it seems like all the other TA traders kind of pick up on that, or they've seen themselves go, yeah, that's true. And then people outside of that who are FOMO'd, they're like, hey, wait, what are all these people doing? Oh, they're buying Bitcoin. Oh, it's going to go up. And before you know it, they all just kind of FOMO in. So if it is TA and it works, great. Or if it's just an ancillary type of side effect of all the different TA people going in, great. I do not care what it is as long as the price goes up. I'm happy. And I don't care what price goes up. As long as one of these 6 go up, that'd be fantastic. You know, I have these as my top 6. I have Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, EOS, Cardano, and Chainlink. And I'm as transparent can be. This is what I own. And if I'm a little biased, it's because I am biased. And that's the truth. However, I will say this. If other cryptocurrencies go up, great, fantastic, because what's good for one is good for all. When the water rushes into the harbor, all the ships rise. I'll be happy with whatever goes up. I don't care what it is. If it's Bitcoin on one of mine, great. If it's Tron, fantastic. If it's Tomato Coin, I don't care. I don't care what it is. What's good for one is good for all. Let's all go to the party. I'm pretty happy. At some point, we're all rushed the same finish line. So that's how I see it. Moving on. Last story of the day, this goes to the digital yuan, or E-Yuan, from China, which is a central bank digital coin, or a CBDC. And this article, it was very short, sweet, and to the point, and it just talked about how this gentleman here, Michael Sung, professor at Shanghai's Fudan University, spoke to CoinDesk on the silence of the world in Davos, and he talked about this E-Yuan that's coming up. And pretty much he said there was 2 big pieces of news that came out in October. And the first one was where the Chinese government was talking about blockchain and talking about strategy and all these different things. And that was pretty much the first thing, was just really about strategy and how they all talked about it. But he said the second piece of news was President Xi Jinping announcing the country's blockchain strategy, said Sung. This was far more meaningful because Sung noted the president himself announced the digital E-Yuan. And I thought to myself, I'm like, that's true. I never really thought about how big of a deal that was. That'd be like if President Trump came out today and said, you know what? We're going to invest heavily into blockchain, and we're going to have our own central bank digital coin, and we're really going to look at this and all these different things and how it can help us improve as a nation. If he came out and said something like that, that would be enormous. I mean, that would be a huge boon. I would think that the market cap in cryptocurrency digital assets would almost double overnight, because people were like, holy smokes, this was the signal we were waiting for. So we had China's president doing the same thing, essentially going, hey, we're putting all our eggs in this one basket. It's going to be blockchain. It's going to be a CBDC, and we're going to move forward with this, and we're going to show the entire world what leadership looks like. And that is essentially what they did. Going on what the article, he says, in China, said Sung, this puts an official imprimatur or stamp on the plans, and it'll make other governments take notice. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, this happened in late October 2019. And ever since that time, we heard about CBDC, central bank digital coins, for a while, but it's really ramped up in just the last couple of months. And the reason is because China is a superpower. And if they start to take control of what's going on economically, throughout the entire world, that's not good for all the other countries. So they need to catch up. So all this lackadaisical attitude and the ho-hum of blockchain and saying, we'll get to it at some point. Now they got put on notice and they got to actually work. They got to actually do the things that they were supposed to do months and years ago, because another superpower is going, hey, if you guys want to step up, we'll step up for you and we'll take the lead. No problem. You just sit back, grab some bench, we'll be in the lead. No problem. Anyhow, article talks about this means it's serious business, and I think the implications of this blockchain strategy will be felt around the world, because what it indicates is that China has developed a national strategy. All the big players are trying to get in the game, but this is signaling that the central government is stepping in and sort of taking a central role. I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say they're not sort of taking a central role. They are taking the central role. And look, America is not the type of country just to sit back and go, yeah, you can have that one. Especially because the US dollar is the reserve currency. Are you out of your effing mind? There is no way that they're going to sit back and allow that to happen. They're going to come out guns blazing, and I think this is what's happened at Davos. What happened with Steve Mnuchin when he stood up there and said, "Hey, we're going to look at all the different things for cross-border remittance payments because we're going to support that type of thing because we like what we see." Fantastic, and that's from essentially the U.S. government. I mean, that is the U.S. government. That is the Secretary of Treasury, Steve Mnuchin, talking about it. And if you don't think he didn't talk to Donald Trump about that before he made that statement, also, you're out of your mind. So, interesting stuff. And that's why I think that these CBDCs, and especially like this digital dollar that we talked about, is going to come into play. And this comes another article, another story that I had covered just a couple weeks ago. And it talked about former regulator known as CryptoDad to launch the digital dollar think tank. Essentially, they're going to digitalize the dollar. And this is J. Christopher Giancarlo, who stepped down as chairman of the CFTC last year. And he said he was going to create a nonprofit digital dollar foundation to study, how this is all going to work and blockchain and da-da-da, right? I'm not going to go over this whole article again. I just want to skim down to the very last part. And it talks about how he earned the moniker CryptoDad on Twitter because he was the one that went before Congress and was talking about how he's like, I don't know exactly what's going on with blockchain. He goes, with my kids, this is all they talk about, and they're really into it. And I can see how this could be a major play in the future. And he saw a value into it, especially when he was talking to his kids about it. And that's why they call him CryptoDad. And he says, he's an unlikely rock star status on his visits to cryptocurrency and blockchain conferences, which is great for him. In September, he became an advisor to the Chamber of Digital Commerce, a blockchain and digital asset lobbying group. Great, you got to get lobbyists in there, right? They got to go in there and essentially bribe U.S. Congress and senators and everybody else. But he's one of those. He's an asset to them. He is one of those people that he's an advisor. And this is for the Chamber of Digital Commerce. And you know who else is linked to Chamber of Digital Commerce? That guy right there, Brad Garlinghouse. He speaks there. He's a keynote speaker. And look, it's not about what you know. It's about who you know. And these guys are all rolling in the same place. So if you don't think that these CBDCs are all going to be connected, there's going to be a bridge currency, and it might be something called XRP, again, I think you're out of your mind. So that's it for today. I'm going to leave it right there. Thanks for listening through all the rants and whatnot. And if you got time, hang with me for a little bit and let's go over my favorite part, the scam of the day. So real quick, this is why we do scam of the day. First of all, let me step back. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for hanging with us. We do scam of the day because as time rolls on, there's a Bitcoin halving coming up in May 2020. And when that happens, usually there's a big flood of people that come in after that. And if these flood of people come in and there's a boatload of scams going on, because they don't understand what blockchain is, what Bitcoin, what digital currencies are, they don't know because there's so much information out there and there's so much wrong information out there. So when they come in, they see like, what's a ledger? What's a digital wallet? What's a cold wallet? What's an airdrop? What's a Bitcoin? What's a Dogecoin? They get confused and then they see these scams. They're like, send us your private keys or sign up for this and we'll send you back so many thousands of XRP or Bitcoin and just, verify some things. And they get scammed out of their money. So If we allow that to happen, one person tells 10, 10 tells 100, 100 tells 1,000, and then this whole area that we are living in right now, just me and you, we are the 1%, maybe 2%. When these people come in and they get scammed out, they tell all their friends, that's a problem. Now people don't want to come in here. They don't really want to spend their money because whatever they heard on Fox News and CNN, where it says, "Hey, these are all scams, and cryptocurrency is used to fund terrorism, and it's for Silk Road, and it's just awful. It's for the cartels." And people are like, "Yeah, well, I lost my money, so that makes sense." So if we help out and get rid of these scams, it's a much more hospitable place for people to come in. So what I do is we pick one scam of the day, we go over it, we downvote it, and we report it. To find this spreadsheet, scam of the day, in every single one of my videos, in the description is a big bold text that says scam of the day. And right next to that is a link, which is going to take you to this handy dandy Google spreadsheet. And you can see, we talk about why it's a scam, the scam video link, the date found, and date removed. If the date removed column is filled out, that means that everybody reported it and it got taken down. Fantastic. We've got a pretty good track record so far. We started on January 14th. I think we've got like 15 or so gone, but there's still a couple that we need to get rid of. So if you see one that, like this one, it's not removed yet, we're going to click on that video link itself. It's going to take us to something like this. And what are we looking for as far as a scam? First of all, everything's a scam unless proven otherwise. Let me say that again. Everything is a scam unless proven otherwise. Now, we just talked about that in today's article. We talked about the US Marshals. Make sure that you go to the actual website. Like right now, this is a live Ripple XRP giveaway. If you go to ripple.com, whatever the authentic website is, it'll tell you, hey, guess what? We don't do giveaways. So that's a scam. If you go to any of the nano ledger S's and they say, hey, is this a scam? It's a scam. If you go to Binance, hey, are you guys giving anything away? Nope, we don't give things away. It's all a scam. So everything's a scam until proven otherwise. So what do we look for? First of all, we look in the comment section, and this is YouTube. There's different various scams there in like Twitter and Instagram. I don't deal with that. I just deal with my community. So I'm going to look in the comment section of the video, and you can see it's pretty scammy. Now, on some scams, they don't allow comments. They'll shut them off. So that's a red flag. So right now, it's saying it's a scam, or if it says it's a scam, it's a red flag. But we have to prove it. How do we prove it? First of all, we're going to look in the description, and I'll say some kind of garbage like this. If you want to participate, it's simple to do. Just navigate to the XRP airdrop portal below to learn more. To verify your address, just send from 1,000 to 1,000,000 XRP to the address below and get 10,000 to 10 million back. Here's the thing. You're not special. No one's going to give you free money. You're not going to get more money than what you put in, okay? So we'll get that through your head right now. You're not special. No one's giving you money. Everything's a scam until proven otherwise. I know it's a harsh way to look at things, but it's a realistic way to look at things, and I'm going to save you a lot of money in the long run, a lot of heartache. So let's just say that, yes, this is definitely a scam. First thing we're going to do, we're going to downvote, which we already did this many a time, and now we're going to report it. Sometimes the flag is there, but the scammers are slick. They try to hide it. Click on these three dots, click on report. First thing we're looking for, that's spam. Choose one. It's scams or fraud. And then underneath here it says this applies to links within the video description, which is true. There are links in there that are scammy. Next, this is a scam. Please remove! Exclamation point. Report. And you can put whatever you want there, however detailed you want to be. And that's it. You've done your job. So like I say, if I do this, I'm just one person. YouTube is like, great, we got some one person who says it's a scam. If you do it, now we're two people. Fantastic. And as more people watch this video, the thousands of people, if all the people that watch this video report this one scammy application or video going on right now, this would be gone tomorrow. Guaranteed it. So if we can do that and get everybody to do this, all this stuff will go away. People can come in and invest with not feeling like they're going to get scammed or actually get scammed. And then more people will come into this space, and it's a better transaction, better type of community for all. All right. Thanks so much for watching to the end. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, there's going to be a couple more that's going to come up. I don't know what they are because the YouTube algorithm just picks them for you, whatever's best for your viewing pleasure. And that's it for today. Thanks again for watching to the end, and I'll see you on the next one.